think, to deal with here for Athletico, oh sorry, for Legacy today. In my mind, I think Atletico's got the stronger roster. How much this Athletico roster is going to put into the season, how much effort are they expecting to win? Are they expecting to, you know, take second place in the group? How hard are they going to be fighting? Remains to be seen, but I do think it is a strong and solid-looking roster.
Yeah, for me, this best of 4 probably going Atletico's way. We'll see what Legacy can do up against them with this brand new lineup. And Money going to be the first one going down for Georgie. See you later, bud.
See you later, mate. That might actually result in the loss in this fight as well for Atletico, as Sleep Easy will clean up the Diva. It's Kiki, or Zol, we'll call him, going down. Atletico now need to fight back from behind, and what I said, getting that first win in the team fight on any given control map is such a big boon. Addy, of course, here on the Widowmaker was from the Avant roster last season. Pretty impressive from what we got to see from him. The other interesting thing is Sleep Easy actually moving into a DPS position for Legacy this season. Was formerly a support player, but interestingly enough, he's going to be playing Brigitte here, so you tell me.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Addy up on the Widow, looking for range. Atletico back onto the point, getting very close to picking it up. Mini going to go down to Gob as well. And look at that, without any real sort of fight, Atletico swapped the point back in their favor. And the rest of the team going to follow that one up as well, picking up a couple of kills up against Legacy, doing so quite strongly. Actually, might even end up staggering 1 or 2 players here. Yeah, I'm not so sure what was going on there for Legacy. I think they just mispositioned themselves and then got caught out by how quickly Atletico were capping that point up and tried to jump on, like in a bit of stress and panic, and really put themselves out of position where Atletico was able to finish things off. Here comes a self-destruct in onto the point. Yeah. Almost disastrous there for Atletico, but there is just a little bit of cover for them to hide in. USMC now does have the Graviton Surge, looking for a big one here. Almost a great self-destruct, but not quite. And as you said, another one now going to come through. Not going to find any kills there either. Up to 40% now are Atletico. Money and Evie both with ultimates. Money going to go down. Evie, she might follow quite shortly as well.
Mini.
Yeah.
Mini single-handedly winning that fight for Legacy, holding down the right click button. I really rate Mini, rather. I think that she's a little bit underestimated. Yeah, and we'll see whether or not that is going to continue into this season. But was very impressed last season by Mini. And already starting off well, eating that Graviton Surge. Legacy will win a fight, and they start to tick themselves back up here. Not much to really hold on with, though. They do have that infra site, which is going to allow them a little bit earlier info onto what Atletico is doing, but it won't necessarily help them actually win this fight. Yeah, a lot of high ground battles here, but eventually everyone's going to drop down onto the point itself. That's the nature of control, I suppose. Gob down, Sleep Easy down as well. That's a 1-and-1. That means no rally available here for Legacy. Mini, is that a self-destruct coming through? Not going to see what happens there, to be perfectly honest. Maybe got back to the mech. Either way, not getting any decent results. Cinderella down. They're halfway through, up to 52% right now. They want to come across because Legacy looking strong on the point already, 3/4 of the way through to capturing downtown. Yeah, Sleep Easy, or rather Special Kid there, is going to be dropping on the Zenyatta. This Brigitte still a bit of a problem though for Atletico. Legacy continuing to tick that time up. Mini will dodge self-destruct, but continues to contest. And all this time, Legacy continuing to contest, continuing to build up that timer. Even though they probably will, in the end, lose this fight. Going to get up to 99%. And that's exactly what Legacy was hoping for. Atletico now only will be able to recap it across. So maximum time, maximum potential for Legacy to cap this one back. Got to say, though, Legacy in a tough position now. They'll have to deal with the USMC here again with another Graviton Surge, and you can't hope to eat 2 in a row. Well, I guess you can hope, but it's greedy. It's unlikely, I suppose. Expect maybe would be a better word. You can't expect to eat 2 in a row. True. I'm glad we should probably stop talking about eating, because this particular map has way too much food around it on the side, making me very, very hungry right now. Look, Atletico, they've already gone. They've gone from 52 to 82%. And they're looking pretty strong. At Legacy, obviously only need to win one more fight. That's a shot. And that's a great start to find Termo. It's going to make life a little bit more difficult as well. Grab Surge comes through. We're following Addy at long distance, but oh my goodness, self-destruct. Big, big picks coming out from Atletico. That
might just be enough to get them the point.
Yeah, Addy under a lot of pressure here, will be booped off, does not have the grapple available. Sleep Easy in the meanwhile though has managed to pick up a couple. Special Kid will drop, but the Brigitte is still alive on the point and kicking overtime, starting to tick away now though. Legacy need to get in there. Cinderella doesn't have a Primal Rage available, so really going to be quite a squishy target when all is considered. Thunder Kitty and Mini trying to hold things off here, but I think it is a losing battle right now for Legacy. Athletico should be finishing this one off. Addy will chime back in with the Doomfist again. Another stagger attempt to just get onto that point and try and stall out a little bit more. Unfortunately, the boot does cause Sleep Easy to ground slam absolutely nothing. Look, that is going to be that.
A very extended fight there for the last remaining point. Legacy tried their best, did okay, did better than perhaps we expected, but Athletico going to win that one, 100 to 99. It does not get any closer than that, Elfishguy. Nice little start coming out from them as we move across to Sanctuary. To be fair, Legacy got the pick at the start as well. They got that first fight and put Athletico onto the back foot. Yeah, well, nice for Athletico to be able to come back from that. It could have been a bit more one-sided had Athletico won the initial fight. Gob going to be back onto the Reinhardt this time. Definitely a very strong Reinhardt player. Same could be said for Cinderella, though I feel as though Cinderella has a little bit more impact on the Winston, where Gob will have a little more impact on the Reinhardt. Who knows whether the players would agree, but Athletico be all grouped up behind Gob. Cinderella trying to be the one to force the issue here, pushing into Athletico. Yeah, going to fight out straight away out around the giant drum, and Gob going to be the first one down. Nice pick out coming out from Mini. As you said, she's playing well last season, may follow up this season as well. Great work. Finds Termo as well as the D-Mech. So great start coming out from Legacy once again. 2 from 2. They'll be the first ones to capture the point.
Yeah, and it's an exact replica team comp, so it's not like they've done anything differently. They've just out-battled Athletico there. The focus fire a little bit better there from Legacy. Cinderella now does have an ultimate available. Gob's at 28%, but Sleep Easy looking for the shield bash.
Rare rally already available. Graviton Surge already available. Termo, the first one to go down to Mini once again. Cinderella gets picked up by Gob. So that's a 1-for-1 trade that probably Athletico would be happy with. Gob follows it up on the Sleep Easy. The Brigitte is gone. Self-destruct now available as well. Trance comes through. May not be enough. Athletico looking to pick the point back up, but they're taking a while. And Legacy will probably be happy with about 40%.
Well, I don't know if Legacy will be happy at this point. They should not have lost that fight. They got the Earth Shatter down early on in the piece. Athletico have barely invested any ultimates in here. Actually, they haven't thrown anything at all, really. Termo finally will put the rally out, but the fight's already won, and Legacy, not sure where that one's come from, but Athletico will be pleased to be able to cap back at this point. Wanting to in their campaign in the second round here.
Legacy with 3 oldies in the pocket. Same with Athletico for now. Money about to get his Transcendence back as well. Legacy have been fighting pretty well. Self-destruct comes through along with the Graviton Surge. Anyone going to go down? The answer is no. Another Grav Surge, this time coming out from Athletico, sees Addy go down, but Thunder Kitty picks up Gob. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Trans going to be pumped here by Money, and a big Earth Shatter finds all of USMC, I think. Yeah, Cinderella going flying for a moment there, but eventually has the slam into the ground. Not too impactful in the end, but Athletico still trying to hold on to this fight, still trying to hold on to the cap. There's an important pick. Cinderella goes down just as Gob rejoins the fight. 5v6 now for Athletico as they begin the charge on forward. The D-Mech does come across from Thunder Kitty, but at the moment, you have to say this fight is favorable for Athletico, and Legacy knows it. They're backing away. They will, and at that point, Athletico will manage to get ahead of Legacy there on the percentage control. Now they're going to push forward, trying to find themselves some room as well. Obviously want to go and get out of Baby Diva form. Will be successful there. So Athletico looking okay right now with this team comp, with where they are in terms of ultimate charge as well. In a good position to win this next fight, put themselves at 99%. Maybe even more. Rally out from Termo. And Mini does have a self-destruct, but not much to combo with here, so it'll be tough to make much impact from that one. There goes Gob, though. That was a good charge, but it's not going to be enough. The shield was out of place, but the self-destruct unfortunately did not find any kills. Cinderella going to go down. Sleep Easy brings one back to 1-for-1, but I'd probably rather have my Reinhardt, to be perfectly honest. Money does well. D-Mac onto Mini. Athletico on the point, still finding it out. Sound barrier comes through. Both sides, that is. Everyone with so much health to work with. They're trying to capture the point. We are at 99%. If Athletico wins this, they will win the round.
I don't know if they're going to win this, though, as Cinderella has just found a couple of kills. Mini will follow up onto USMC.
Yeah.
Round's done and dusted, at least as far as Athletico is concerned, but Legacy have something else to say about it, as they are going to cap this one back, and we are sort of back to square one here for Athletico. I'm starting to pick up again for Legacy. Athletico, they really only have the rally at this point. Same can mostly be said for Legacy. As far as both of these teams are concerned, they have been very, very neck and neck when it's come to the ult economy. They've really been keeping each other in check and using only what they need to.
Oh man, double rally everyone with armor galore right now. Going to try and battle it out, but as you said, Gob looking very low. Going to get healed back up. And 90% as well for his Earth Shatter. Certainly ahead of Cinderella here. That potentially could be enough to get them across the line.
Very scary right now as Cinderella, because you don't want to be missing the block on this Earth Shatter. But similarly, Termo's there with the Brigida, so what can you do about it? Let's see. There it is. That's the combo.
Great Earth Shatter comes through. Cinderella destroyed. Gob finds 1, 2, 3, and a D-Mech. You'll take that any day of the week. Grab Surge comes through. Athletico on the point. Legacy did get to 98%, Jordan, but it won't be enough.
Got to feel a little bit sorry there for Legacy, and in particular Cinderella. I know that feel too well. When you are the Reinhardt, there's like literally nothing that you can do apart from not be there. And it's like, okay, you want me to not be there? Great, thanks, man.
Yeah.
If they would have lasted another 10 or 15 seconds, Mini would have had the ultimate. The Lucio, I can't remember who it was actually there for Legacy, would have had the ultimate. So there was maybe a little bit more of a chance to hang on in the end for Legacy, but Athletico got the timing perfectly. Good combo out from Termo and from Gob. Nice to see that synergy working out, and 2-0 goes out in their favor.
It was definitely a 2-0, but it wasn't necessarily a hugely convincing 2-0, perhaps. No. I think Legacy actually showed quite a bit of grit there, won a couple of key fights, won the first fight of every round as well, which is also good if you can do that. That's essentially 3 percentage points on the control.
That's the thing. I think it maybe looks a little bit closer because of the fact that Legacy did win the initial fights. You know, that does give you such a big snowball advantage that they weren't able to hold on to. So to me, that kind of actually dictates the fact that Athletico were maybe a little bit stronger there than the scoreline would indicate. You know, it was like 99% on both of those points, but to start off with the first point, with the first fight win for Legacy, and then not be able to consolidate and convert that into a round win at all. I don't know. I think Athletico have done a couple of nice comebacks there. So we'll see how things go here heading into our second map. But for me, pretty solid stuff there from Athletico. Some good fights from Legacy, to be sure. But Athletico always felt sort of a little bit more in control.
Well, it's the 2-0 and the points go across the board to Athletico. Legacy, as we said, they were okay. Let's see how it goes heading into map number 2. What would you pick here, Jordan, if you were Legacy? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, we haven't seen Numbani yet.
I was going to say, we've seen a lot of Hollywood so far today.
I think Hollywood tends to be the more favoured map out of most of the teams. Again, going back to Season 1, Hollywood was picked a little bit more than Numbani. Now, the Legacy team back in the day did like Numbani, actually. They were very close to beating Blank Esports on it at one point. The Blank Blue roster, I should say. I don't know if that's going to translate through here because it's a very, very different roster. For me, I'd like to see Numbani, so I'm going to say let's go pick that one.
Well, it's gone. Take a look. Is it going to be Numbani?
Nope.
The answer is no. The answer is Hollywood. Everyone loves Hollywood, Jordan, unfortunately. They all want to be stars.
Never been.
Haven't you?
No.
BL.
Anyway,
BL.
Once again, we're going to see Hollywood, so time to goats it up again, I think, for both of these two rosters. Why not at this point? Seems to be the strategy that does tend to work out. Addy, maybe we'll see a little bit of him on to the Widowmaker. Same could potentially be said for Termo. When they're on the defense, when we do get into point B, into the second phase of the map, that's where the Widowmaker does tend to have a little bit of a chance. But I don't know, against a GOATS composition, which is probably what teams are majority going to be running, the Widowmaker doesn't really have a particularly grand old time.
Well, Legacy, I'm ready for Legacy to show us what they've got here, Jordan.
Yeah, they're going to start off on defense, and they've got themselves the old Orisa combo. But this time no Roadhog. Obviously Mini very, very comfortable on D.Va, and in fact I don't think I've ever actually seen Mini play anything but D.Va. as is
Diva,
mostly the case now for the off-tank players. You
Diva
pretty much only play Diva.
Jordan, to be honest, Diva #1. Why would you play anything else, ever?
Well, you're a bit of a fanboy, aren't you?
It's the only hero I can play.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, let's see what Termo can do on the Farah.
He's playing very safely at the moment. Looking at his positioning, he's giving only
Smart.
the minimal amount of his, I suppose, body available to
just his head, right?
Legacy to shoot.
Just over the top. Look at this, onto the high ground they go. Cinderella going to get picked up there by the Diva as well. So that's not a half bad pick, to be perfectly honest. Athletico trying to get onto the point, almost 1/3 of the way through.
This playstyle from Termo would have been much more effective had it been before the Farah changes. Right now, I think it's a little more difficult to be doing any damage at that kind of a range with the Farah. You need to be a little bit closer, getting those direct hit rockets as he has done onto Sleep Easy, to having a massive, massive impact. But of course, you're still going to be raining damage down, and every time you do connect a rocket, it's going to be very problematic indeed. Athletico wiping the floor with Legacy on this first point.
Well, you consider... Oh, there goes the Dragon Strike. If you consider the fact that the Farah was literally there the entire time, raining down damage with, with essentially no one there to deal with it.
It's not so much even about the damage, it's also about the area denial there for Legacy. They don't even feel comfortable standing in the cafe because they know that there are rockets going in. So even despite the fact maybe that there wasn't so much damage done by Termo, or there could have been more had it been without the splash changes, the fact remains that he did actually push them out of position. So for Athletico, that's worked out as it was intended to anyway. They swapped straight over onto the Mountain Goats. And Legacy, as expected, do have Addy on the Widowmaker. Needs to have the impact, though, because if you're not, it essentially turns things into a 5v6.
It does indeed. Mini sitting here. She's got the self-destruct. Going to throw that one out. Whether the finds a kill or not is a different story. Unfortunately, unsuccessful in this attempt. Actually going to get picked up there as well by USMC when in baby Diva form. But Legacy sitting here on the payload, or at least Cinderella is, doing what he can.
Yeah, pretty much on his own at the moment. There is Thunder Kitty hanging around, but Cinderella's not going to last too much longer. And Athletico will start to push forward into point B. Looking at Athletico, USMC will be wanting to charge up the Graviton Surge, which is why he's pushed forward a little bit. Addy's got the Infrasight out right now, but again, Addy with that Widowmaker has only managed to find 1 kill since swapping. And it really is not particularly scary right now for Athletico because they do have the Winston, they do have the Diva to deal with it.
Not much that Addy can do, to be perfectly honest. Going to add at least in that Infrasight, but it's USMC doing all of the work here. We heard USMC time and time again in Season 2, Jordan. And, well, sounds to me like Season 3 might not be any different, to be perfectly honest. So strong there on the Zarya. Well, the rest of the team going to follow through as well. Athletico going to clean up Legacy. They're on the payload pushing towards point B, and they're going to have a ton of time in the time bank.
And a ton of armor here as well. Look at that. Super, super healthy Athletico. Legacy's going to try and contest. Not a great idea in my eyes. It was a little bit uncoordinated, not timed very well there at all. Trying to burn some ultimates from Athletico, but so far it's only going to be the sound barrier coming out from Eevee. Tanks keeping their ultimates available here for Athletico and a pretty clean wipe there. So sound barrier for sound barrier. Cinderella also trying to chime in there. Hasn't really done too much on the Reinhardt. I think he just swapped off. Sorry, on the Winston. He swapped off now onto the Reinhardt. But for Athletico, that's fine. Like, they've literally traded ults 1 for 1. They're going to be able to push on forward. They might have even built up a little bit more on Termo, who had thrown out the rally earlier anyway. Pop's going to go on to the Reinhardt here as well, maybe in response to Cinderella. But look at this!
Graviton Surge comes through. USMC playing strong at 100% energy as well. Termo down. Self-destruct comes through from Cinderella. And Gob going to go down. Comes through from Cinderella? Well, no. Cinderella's the one who's going to find the kill, and Mini's going to be the one who finds Gob. Athletico going to get stopped in their tracks, thankfully, here by Legacy, because they still have 3.5 minutes to defend point C. There's a lot of work to be done. That
costs Athletico quite a bit as well, but it also does give Gob quite a bit of charge. He's up to 75% of the Earth Shatter, only off the 1 fight. So really looking to build that one up. Maybe try and catch Cinderella off guard. Termo has already been able to do that once with the shield bash, but another fight out here. Rally comes across. That one from Termo.
Cinderella holding on to the Earth Shatter, a very big Earth Shatter actually. Gob goes down. They push through once again. Athletico falls back in towards spawn, trying to stagger them as best they can. And money going to go down there in the end as well. 2:55 on the clock. Still a lot of time for Athletico to work with, but finally it feels like maybe Legacy has found their groove.
Yeah, this is not really where you want to be getting stalled either, because there are choke points that you have to push through, which makes it a little bit easier for Legacy to hold on. Athletico now looking for the shatter themselves.
Graviton Surge, I'm not even sure where that went, Jordan. And the Earth Shatter didn't really work either, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Mini must have eaten another grab.
This might allow Athletico to push on through.
No, it was Addy's grab, actually, so it would have been Zolt that eaten it. But Gob's Shatter did absolutely nothing. Athletico are still going to be pushing on through.
Yeah. Now USMC has a Graviton Surge available as well, combined with all of this energy. This is a very serious looking Zarya right now, to be perfectly honest. We've got the self-destruct. I'm ready for a hole-in-one here, Jordan. Well, Money's going to have that Transcendence as well. We'll see what Special Kid and Mini can do, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Athletico starting to try and make a defense here. Termo throwing out the rally. Another great shatter from Cinderella.
Literally, literally only Money keeping a few of those players alive there with a Transcendence. The rest of the team goes down. He'll get picked up in the end.
Yeah, very nice combo from Cinderella and Mini. And Cinderella is, at the moment, definitely getting the better of this Reinhardt battle. He is the most experienced player on this Legacy roster in terms of contenders at the very least, and he's definitely leading from the front.
Sleep Easy throws out armor for everyone. Self-destruct going to come through. Cinderella does have to turn around and will do so in the nick of time. Legacy is the team, though, finding the kills, pushing through, potentially on the back of that great defense from the Reinhardt.
Well, Legacy looking fantastic at the moment.
We were talking about how much time Athletico had to push with Jordan. Now that time is down to 50 seconds. And look at this.
Probably
ready to go.
Two more pushes here, I think, for Athletico. So this one might be a little bit of a dry push, try and pull out the Reinhardt Earth Shatter, and then really commit to the next one, I think, Athletico.
Ready for a big, big Earth Shatter is Cinderella. So is Gob. Who's going to get the better of who? Well, I don't know if Gob's worked as well as he wanted to. Mini throws out the self-destruct. We're going to find any kills. Evie, she goes down. Gob's gone down as well. Nice little picks coming out from Legacy, considering, you know, they've got that advantage as you push towards the defender's spawn. 20 seconds on the clock here. Athletico may not complete this, Jordan.
No, I don't think they are. At this point, they're really going to have to be scrambling for that final push. That said, they do have the Graviton Surge. They do have Rally. They do have Transcendence. A lot to keep themselves alive and a lot to kind of catch up the Legacy players. Thunder Kitty, the only one with an ultimate for Legacy, and now they're a little bit out of position. That grab is good.
We'll see whether it will be enough. Transcendence going to come out for Money onto the payload, trying to keep Athletico alive. Cinderella very low. Gob goes down. Special Kid finds Termo as well. Legacy actually looking quite good. The payload got a very, very long way, Jordan, but it did not matter.
Yeah, just a little bit cheeky in the end there from Evie, but it's not going to result in the win, at least not the final cap out there from Athletico. Nicely done from Legacy. Very good rotations of their ult economy. Cinderella, phenomenal there on the Reinhardt. Able to really go toe-to-toe against Gob, who was one of the best main tank players of the last season. And Legacy actually slightly impressing me there a little bit. I didn't expect them to be looking this good, to be honest, but they're doing a pretty good job, and maybe everybody has underrated them.
Considering where we are in the season as well, Elfishguy, starting it off, this is how they're going to start. I think that's a great indication of things to come here for Legacy. An amazing Earth Shatter into self-destruct as well, coming out from them. Really seem to slow things down and bring that momentum back in their favor.
That's only one side of the story, though, Ben. It can be so easy, maybe on the defensive side here for Legacy, but if they can't get anything done on attack, could just as easily get hold at first here by Athletico. So it's a nice start for Legacy, but that's all that it is. It's a base platform to build off, and they would love to bring it back to one apiece here to keep the series pretty exciting. And if they were able to do that, it would indeed make things a little bit interesting. The first time so far today that we'd go to a 1-1. Definitely make the series look closer and a potential win then even for Legacy, but that's all wishful thinking at this point. They need to consolidate with a good attacking side before we get particularly excited about anything just yet.
The thing for me here that's a little bit peculiar is the fact that Athletico chose to attack when they could have chosen to defend first.
Maybe they don't feel so confident on the defense. Maybe they feel more confident on the attack. I'm not sure what to take from it, but if it's either of those two, could perhaps not be a great thing because they haven't actually finished off the entire map. Here goes Legacy, though, on their attack, and we shall see what they're going to be able to achieve. Once again, rolling out with Goats, this time with an Ana variant. Also the Winston, of course, in there, but getting that nano boost onto the Winston always going to be quite fun, at least for the Winston, maybe not for the opposition team. Addy stunned up a little bit there by a shield slam.
Yeah, Cinderella, the first one to go down, going to lose the Winston straight away. Definitely less than ideal here for Legacy. And now they're stuck in around the corner, and Athletico are going to come around from behind and clean them up.
Yeah, nicely done from Athletico. Just setting themselves, biding their time. Termo's going to clean a few up there, getting the kills on the Brigitte, smacking away with the flail. Well, the mace, I guess, if you want to go with that. Regardless, though, Mini will be staggered quite a little bit. That was nice from Athletico, though. They got that initial pick, they back off, they heal themselves up, they really prepare, they reset a little bit, and then Legacy is like, oh crap, we're in trouble here.
And it's more time as well. You've wasted another 20 seconds that, you know, that's one less push at the end of the game. Should you get to that point. So
yeah, also look at all the amounts of ultimates built up right now for Athletico. Everyone's starting to hit towards 70%, 80%.
Gob right into the middle of it as well, all nice and bubbled up. Athletico doing a ton of damage. Primal Rage already available and now used here, coming out from Athletico. Graviton Surge comes through, catches a number of players here from Legacy out up against the building. Sleep Easy the first one to go down. Cinderella get picked up as well. Athletico going to win this second fight now, 2:20 on the clock. Yep. Legacy going to have to fall back. Do you change up here, Jordan, as Legacy?
They've already made the change up, Ben. They had Cinderella on the Winston, but he's decided to go back onto Reinhardt. Don't think that's worked out too poorly here at all for Legacy. Has allowed Cinderella that last fight to actually build up a large majority of his ultimate. Special Kid's going to go over onto Zenyatta once again. I'm not really sure what he swapped off for onto the Widowmaker, but anyway, see how this one works out. Cinderella with the Earth Shatter, definitely one to keep an eye on. Termo, though, catching Special Kid.
Graviton Surge combo. Lands on top of the shield, but still manages to find two. Termo down as well. These are the picks that Legacy needed to get. USMC back last hope here for Athletico. Has a Graviton Surge almost available. Would not, you think, use it here. We'll see how long they hold out, how quickly Athletico can get back onto the point. And he's going to go down to the self-destruct, not even needing the Graviton Surge right now. Sound Barrier going to come out from Legacy as well. Cinderella does have that Earthshatter, throws it out. I'm not even sure who they found, but it's USMC, Graviton Surge, tons of damage. This is a 100% damage. Zarya coming through as well. Gob going to be the one cleaning that one up, and Athletico, even though they lost the fight, Jordan, they managed to hold the point.
Zol being able to hide for such a long time there on the Diva did get the self-destruct across, and I thought there would be a grab to follow from USMC in conjunction, but in the end, USMC holding on to that grab for so long, being able to survive for so long. Legacy just not able to clean up the stragglers, and that was a big problem for them. Now they've got 1 or 2 pushes left. They've only capped up the 1 tick so far. Gob with the Earth Shatter.
Coalescence from Special Kid, maybe this will be enough to get them across the line. They want to push out, they want to get onto the point, but between Money and Gob, that's a huge Earth Shatter going to come out from Gob. Combines that with a big charge, and Legacy wiped out by Athletico. 25 seconds on the clock. They have half a push remaining.
Oh my goodness, even Mini has to commit the self-destruct there to get the mech back. That's how badly Legacy needed the mech in this final push. 15 seconds, but it's an ultimate wasted essentially now from Legacy in what could have been the hole-in-one combo. Addy does have the Graviton Surge, but Legacy will need to find the damage from somewhere else. They're charging on the point now.
4 seconds, 2 seconds, self-destruct on the point. Everyone gets out of dodge. They don't need to commit. Athletico can just play this smartly. Addy down, Cinderella down, Special Kid down. Athletico looking so strong. Legacy going to get cleaned up. And unfortunately, they are not even going to be able to capture point A. Jordan, if this had been the other way around, if this had been Athletico choosing defense first, we wouldn't have been able to talk about how well Legacy did on point C. because they wouldn't have got past point A.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in the end if your defensive side is so good, as long as your attacking side can't keep up.
Yeah.
Obviously, in that case, Legacy, it's the tale of two halves. They did pretty well on their defense. I got to say, they looked good, but they just couldn't get it together on the attack. No. They're just not clean enough closing out one of those fights. They were close. USMC and Sol being able to hold on for so long, pretty impactful in the end there for Athletico, and just the individuals stepping up a little bit as what we expected then from Athletico, with those experienced players that do have a bit of that star power, where Legacy maybe is lacking that a little bit, and that was the difference between the two sides in the end.
Yeah, we had a bit of hope here, I suppose, for Legacy. And to be fair, in this third phase at point C, on defense, they looked actually quite good. But as you said, if you can't get, it's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I like the combos. I thought Cinderella played pretty well on the Reinhardt. To be honest, there was a lot of good things to look at there from Legacy, but far more for Athletico there, to be honest, in the end. So just not quite for Legacy. Yeah, I had a little bit of hope, like you said. And I thought that they might be able to do something a little bit exciting to bring it back to a 1-1. But now it's a 2-0 for Athletico. I guess this is more or less what we actually really expected before this match did start off. There was, a fleeting moment of hope for Legacy, but that's very quickly been quashed and squashed by Athletico, and that actually does turn into a very one-sided affair in the end as they completely hold them on first. You could look at that and think, okay, maybe this was going to be a close match, but to be honest, it was anything but.
Yeah, look, Jordan, to be fair, defense is half the battle, and it seems to me at least Legacy have that part sorted. It could have definitely been a different story. They almost got across the line on point A. There were a couple of individual great plays coming out at the split second for Athletico, which I think maybe saved them in this particular situation and maybe made it look worse than it actually was. But we still have 2 maps remaining here for Legacy. Anything's possible. Anything
is possible. Well, we didn't really get to see them at all on the payload phase of the map, so we can't even talk about that. Headed into the escort phase. Certainly on Assault, which is going to be coming up next. Things didn't look so good for them, at least on the attack, being able to get that first point of Hollywood at all. Nor did it really look so great. They didn't defend well on the first point of Hollywood either. So heading into, either Hanamura or Horizon Lunar Colony, things I think could be a little difficult for Legacy coming up.
Well, Elfishguy, we're halfway through this match. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, more epic Overwatch action.